Good morning, everyone. My name is Catherine Coleman. I'm a graduating team leader in Class 27's Earth Unit, and I'll be your Master of Ceremonies for this virtual graduation today. I have previously served as a Corps member in Class 23 in the Pacific region, and on graduation day, we were left with some words that I've carried with me since that I would like to share with each and every one of you on this call today. The words from former Director Moira Carpenter are, "Don't let this be the best thing you have ever done." That's obviously a tall order coming off of a year of responding firsthand to a global pandemic and being a work was shut down. Take the time you need to rest and recover, but when you're ready, step back into the community with what you've learned and make the changes you want to see. Because this year was less about the things you accomplished and more about who you are and who you're going to be going forward. So don't let this be the end of your growth. Don't let this be the end of your learning. And please don't let this be the best thing you've ever done. To start things off, I'd like to introduce AmeriCorps NCCC-Southwest Region Director, Jeanette Fabula.
Thank you, Catherine, for the warm introduction. Good morning, and thank you for joining us as we pay tribute to the amazing work done by our Fire, Earth, Water, and Sky members of Class 27A of the AmeriCorps National Civilian Community Corps here in the Southwest region. On behalf of the NCCC team, we would like to extend our gratitude to families of members, project sponsors, alumni, and friends of the program who have supported NCCC. Thank you. We would not be here without you. Today, we honor the Corps members and team leaders who have led our operations since last fall. What you have done during this time is inspirational, impressive, and I am thrilled and honored to be celebrating you. This year has been unique and challenging from the start, with your term of service starting during the heart of the COVID-19 global pandemic. Some of you experienced a later than expected start date or conducted training at another campus as we implemented a socially distant CTI to keep you as safe as possible. Many of you experienced quarantines that interrupted your training or projects. Some of you may have friends or loved ones who became ill during this time. And yet, while much of the world was closed down or maybe just running in first gear, you stepped up to serve. You saw the needs of your community, those caused by the virus and those continuing in spite of it, and said, "I will get things done for America." Your service made a direct impact on reducing the effect of COVID-19 and so much more. In a time where the world and our nation has been experiencing deep crisis and the need for hope has been at an all-time high, you put self aside and you responded to America's greatest needs. There's a quote by Shannon Alder that states, "One of the most important things you can do on this earth is to let people know that they are not alone." Throughout the year, I heard numerous powerful stories reflecting your impact in communities and the lives you touched. Together, you have selflessly completed over 200,000 hours of service through 86 projects in 60 unique communities across the United States. You have responded to natural disasters and were instrumental in helping communities with over 417,000 vaccinations, approximately 275,000 pounds of debris trash removed, and 185,000 people assisted at mass care facilities. You served underprivileged communities, including over 225,000 pounds of food received, inventory, or distributed. You repaired and restored our state and local parks, planted over 1,500 new trees, over 7,100 native plants, protected or assisted over 420 wildlife species, and cleared 118 acres of land of unwanted brush or exotic vegetation. In the future, when asked what you did during this historic moment, you will be able to recall a project, a community, a family that you helped. You'll be able to say, I traveled across the country as part of a team to help respond to the crisis. Whether you served on the Colorado Contact Tracing Project, served with partners in FEMA to stand up mass vaccination clinics, built homes across the region to house individuals who are more vulnerable due to COVID, or worked on food insecurity projects. Our communities are grateful for your service, and they've shown that in numerous ways. Whether it was an article in the local town newspaper describing your efforts, a thank you meal from your sponsor or the local church congregation, or a proclamation from the New Jersey state legislator highlighting and lauding your efforts. Absolutely impressive. Your service to our country, to communities, organizations, and individuals in need represents selflessness, passion, and commitment. Through your service, you have shaped a future of greater opportunity for all of us. Today, we celebrate you and all that you've accomplished. You should be incredibly proud. You have demonstrated the power we have when we work together with a common purpose to get things done. Thank you. At this time, I will hand it back to our MC, Catherine, to continue with our program.
Thank you so much, Jeanette. Next up, I would like to introduce Elise Kinzer of the Water Unit with Corps Member Reflection on Service.
Hi, Catherine. Thank you for that warm introduction. I'm just going to hop right into it. So, in our first week on campus, a unit leader said, all the people who are standing here today will not be the same ones who finish out this program. I get it. AmeriCorps NCCC is not for everyone. There are days when the work just doesn't seem worth it, and there may be days where it doesn't feel meaningful. And then the night comes along and you miss home. You begin to miss your friends and family. You miss the familiarity of where you grew up. Everything in AmeriCorps is constantly changing. If you don't change with it, well, you probably didn't make it here today. But you're here, and I now realize that what was said in that first week was more accurate than I realized. All of you here today are not the same person you were when you started this program. I've witnessed some of the most timid people step into their power and take charge in ways that you never would have imagined. I have seen the people who used to stumble over their words become some of the greatest conversationalists. I have seen people who have grown up with great privilege, people who never really ventured out of that world, become some of the most selfless people I know. Individuals have gone from avoiding conflict at all costs to confronting it head on. People who are used to always having the spotlight have been encouraging others to let their own light shine. There are countless transformations that have taken place this year. We have all been through it, separately yet together. We have grown as individuals and definitely as teams. I think we can all agree that jumping into a new lifestyle with complete strangers, thousands of miles away from home, is a little intimidating. Then add COVID into the mix and you're really wondering what you got yourself into. However, it's pushing past the discomfort of it all that leads to real growth. This year, I had the honor of being a part of Water 4. We started our journey all sleeping in one room under the Habitat for Humanity offices. In such close quarters, it didn't take long before we all got comfortable with one another. And it wasn't long before I found myself opening up to my teammates about things that I had never really shared before. I learned that true strength lies in your ability to be vulnerable. Obviously, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. We had issues like any other team, and we weren't always nice about it either. Let's just say that in this service year, we worked in temperatures ranging anywhere from 20 degrees up to 108. And that's pretty comparable to the array of emotions we went through as a team. But I'd be lying if I said I'd ever laughed more in my life, or that I'd ever felt more supported or more unconditionally loved. My true hope is that you've all created bonds that gave you those same feelings, and that even with the distance, you never let those go. Aside from the people, the actual experience that AmeriCorps creates is something incredibly special and unique. This year, our team started with building houses for Greeley Weld Habitat for Humanity in Colorado. I don't think I've ever learned so much in a 5-week period. Our team worked on building houses for 3 families, and it was the first time in my life that I worked for such a worthy cause. And it didn't stop there. Next, our team headed out to New Mexico to do historic building reconstruction, trail maintenance, and work on food sustainability. In this project, we worked with a number of locations and had so many amazing project sponsors. In our last project, Water 4 went to the Chauncey Ranch, which was a camp working towards sustainability and providing outdoor learning for foster children. This was the perfect end to an amazing service year. Our sponsors, Natasha and Jeff, are some of the most caring people, and being able to help them carry out their mission was so valuable. Sometime during all that, Water 4 was flung into vaccine distribution, which is something a lot of teams experienced this year. This taught me the true meaning of being flexible and how much better it is when you flow with it, not against it. Water 4 alone helped distribute nearly 40,000 vaccines. Even if you didn't help distribute vaccines this year, COVID affected us all. Some of us got sick, some of us may have lost jobs or had to put off schooling, and some of us maybe even lost friends or family members. We all joined AmeriCorps at one of the toughest times in our world, and we're all leaving AmeriCorps having helped the world heal from a pandemic, and that's something to be immensely proud of. We all know our work is important, but we don't always understand the true impact it makes on the communities. Then, before you know it, a sponsor starts tearing up because of all you've accomplished, and it really puts it all into perspective. Working for amazing causes alongside such dedicated individuals has been such an eye-opening and rewarding experience. Ultimately, that is how I would define AmeriCorps: rewarding. You truly get out of it what you put in. We all started with our best foot forward, and we came out with a new definition of what our best really is. I am so grateful to have contributed to so many deserving communities, all alongside amazing people, some of which have become my best friends. This year was by no means easy, but it was so worth it. Congratulations. It's been great where we've been, and it'll be great where we're going. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Elise. Next up will be a short video highlighting some of the service we accomplished this year. Awesome. Next up will be our Charge to the Core by Jake Skimbody, who started working with NCCC in 2015 and currently serves as the program's acting national director. Before coming to NCCC, Jake worked at several federal agencies, including the Smithsonian, the Inter-American Foundation, and Peace Corps. After graduating from college, Jake served for 2 years as a Peace Corps volunteer in the Republic of Moldova, supporting their agribusiness sector after independence from the Soviet Union.
Thank you to Jeanette and the Southwest Region staff for inviting me to speak today. The support and leadership that you give provides a safe and meaningful service experience for all of our members. And to you, Class 27A, congratulations. I say this with all sincerity, congratulations. Service with NCCC is not easy. It requires patience, understanding, hard work, perseverance, resilience, and a sense of humor. In addition to the usual rigors and tests of an NCCC service term, you all have dealt with the complicating layer of COVID and working towards America's recovery from our worst pandemic. Many of you served in vaccination response efforts, helping FEMA and communities across the United States to respond quickly and effectively to the pandemic. All of you have supported recovery efforts for this pandemic. Supporting project sponsors to meet their development goals will be critical for full recovery. Every shovel of dirt, every nail hammered, every tax form completed is one step closer to a stronger, healthier nation. I am very excited that you all have firsthand experience with being patient, understanding, hardworking, persistent, resilient, and funny. The lessons that you learned to build and grow these attributes will serve as a foundation for the rest of your life. Each of these competencies is a building block for your professional life, your personal life, and your service life. When you get into the workplace, you will see that your NCCC experience and the growth you experienced through service will set you apart from those that did not serve. As a future teammate, colleague, leader, and friend, you will help those around you succeed and achieve more because you are patient, understanding, hardworking, persistent, resilient, and able to laugh. These will also be necessary tools as you continue to serve others. Each of you has experienced the power of service. Service to others is a tool for many positive outcomes. You have seen service be a solution, a remedy, and a healer. It is now your responsibility to continue that service. Graduation does not mean that our communities no longer need you. They do. They need you as a solution, a remedy, and a healer. And you are experienced and ready to meet that challenge. Why? Because NCCC has taught you to be patient, understanding, hardworking, persistent, resilient, and optimistic. Take these lessons to your next opportunities, but most importantly, take these lessons with you this year and beyond. Your service path is just beginning. Do not let it end here. So congratulations again on your service with NCCC and all of the accomplishments that come with that hard work. And congratulations on committing to others, serving others, and leading others to exceed their goals. I look forward to hearing about your future success and how NCCC helped you get there. Thank you.
I'd now like to introduce a special message from Jared Polis, the Governor of Colorado. Governor Polis joined us at the Southwest Region's last in-person graduation ceremony before COVID-19 back in July 2019, and we're happy he wanted to share his congratulations with our class at today's virtual ceremony as well.
Hi, everyone. Governor Jared Polis here. Congratulations to all of our graduates today. You should be so proud of your service to the state of Colorado and to our nation. I know serving over the past year has presented its own unique challenges, and I thank you for stepping up and going above and beyond the call of duty to help others. Throughout your service, you provided critical support to some of our state's most vulnerable communities in their greatest time of need. Some of you played a key role in our state's COVID response by serving with the COVID Containment Response Corps in Colorado, supporting contact tracing, data entry, tracking, vaccine site operations, other responses. Others of you helped build affordable housing, supplied food to those in need, and took action to preserve, protect, and improve our public land and natural resources. No matter where you served and how you served, you made a positive difference for your communities and for our lives as Coloradans. I encourage you to take some time to reflect on the value of your experiences and how you can continue to make a difference in life. And I have no doubt that the lessons you learned during your time serving with NCCC are invaluable and serve you well for the rest of your life. On behalf of the great state of Colorado, thank you for your service and congratulations, Class 27A, on your graduation.
Next up will be our award presentations. First up, Brian Wagner, Assistant Program Director, will present Project Sponsor of the Year.
Hey everyone. Just gonna do a quick sound check. You can hear me? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Cool, great. Congratulations to Class 27A. I have the distinct honor of presenting this year's Sponsor of the Year. I'd like to start by reading some of the words that a team leader wrote about their time serving on this project. Our experience has been the model NCCC experience. This sponsor set a foundation for service learning from the first day, where the team was given an orientation, tour of the neighborhood, and informed of 3 large issues facing the community: workers' rights, water's rights, and affordable housing. This knowledge inspired conversations with community members and homeowners, giving the team opportunities to connect with the community on a deeper level. On-site, supervisors remained open in their communication, gave members ample opportunities to expand their construction skills and knowledge, and inspired multiple members to continue volunteering in the future. This sponsor has a strong understanding of the impact they are making on their community, and it shows throughout all of the work they do. I am pleased to announce that the Greeley-Weld Habitat for Humanity is the Sponsor of the Year for Class 27A. As the APD working with the Greeley-Weld Habitat, I had the pleasure of working with Tom Clark, who was always professional and solution-oriented in providing service opportunities for members and for his community during a tough year. The Greeley-Weld Habitat ensured our members' health and safety during a really tumultuous year and provided amazing service learning opportunities for them. On project, members got to hone their construction skills while working alongside students from Jefferson High School and getting to learn about issues facing the local community. With each new change this year, each time that we reached out to sponsors, Tom always responded with, "Let's find a way." To steal a word from one of the team leaders, Erica, who served with Greeley Wild Habitat this year, they have been a model sponsor. We're so grateful for their continued partnership with National Service. To accept this award, I hand the floor to Tom Clark, Community Engagement Manager for Greeley Wild Habitat for Humanity.
Great, thank you very much, Brian. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tom Clark, and as Brian said, I'm the Community Engagement Manager and AmeriCorps Host Site Manager for the Greeley, Colorado affiliate of Habitat for Humanity. On behalf of the entire Greeley Wild Habitat team, I want to express how honored and humbled we are by this award. I want to thank the incredible team in the AmeriCorps NCCC-Southwest region for their support of our program over the last year. And I want to thank the truly exceptional Fire 4 team for both their nomination and their commitment to the Weld County community over the last 2 months. Greeley Wild Habitat for Humanity and the AmeriCorps NCCC program have had a long and productive relationship. And our NCCC teams have been essential to maintaining our productive capacity through the COVID-19 pandemic. With national housing inventory now at record lows, dramatic shifts in materials costs making new construction projects uneconomical, and with public health concerns dampening volunteer participation, the pandemic has posed a unique challenge to the habitat affordability model, making it difficult to provide affordable homes for our partner families. Our partnership agreements with Habitat families unconditionally peg their mortgage payment to 30% of their monthly income, meaning that in addition to subsidizing the cost of a new home in Weld County, any materials cost volatility is also borne by the affiliate. On top of our need to suspend our community volunteer program multiple times over the last year, the result has been an additional tens of thousands of dollars per home that we need to fundraise to subsidize the increased costs on behalf of our families, which is a significant challenge during these difficult times. It is in this context that the NCCC teams have stepped up in support of the Habitat mission, not only offsetting our labor costs and maintaining our productive capacity through their direct service, but contributing directly to the health of the community they serve through their empathy and intellectual curiosity. All of our NCCC teams, but especially our most recent Fire 4 team, have eagerly engaged with the social and economic pressures facing our Habitat partner families and have expressed a desire to develop a deeper understanding of the local and global forces which shape the affordable housing market. The Fire 4 team formed close community relationships, working side by side with community members, volunteers, and our partner families. They eagerly engaged with ISP opportunities, and they served as ambassadors for the Habitat mission throughout the Greeley area. A true understanding of our national housing crisis requires a firm grasp of the demographic divides and the socioeconomic fault lines at the local level. And I can say with confidence that the Fire 4 team became a part of the fabric of the Greeley community and developed a comprehensive understanding of the acute need for affordable housing here. It is my personal belief that national service is essential to restoring our civic health, rebuilding our civic institutions, and bridging our socio-political divides, especially coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic. Bringing young people together from different backgrounds, income levels, races, ethnicities, and areas of the country, and shared experiences to solve public challenges forms productive attitudes, habits, and lifelong leaders. 2019 Brookings Institution report on national service reflected that Americans of every demographic description and socioeconomic status, most particularly young adults, should be expected and given the opportunity to serve their country, help solve our nation's most pressing problems, and by sharing the hardship and fulfillment that service can offer, find themselves to one another and to the nation. Over the last year, we at Greeley Wild Habitat have seen NCCC members bind themselves to one another and to the nation in one of its most challenging periods. And I will forever cherish the time that I spent working alongside such selfless and dedicated members. From the entire Greeley Wild Habitat team, I want to express our deep thanks and congratulations to Fire 4 and the entire NCCC Class 27. And we hope you know that you will always have a home with us here in Greeley. Thank you very much.
Congratulations again, and thank you for all of those kind words. I'd now like to introduce Alan App, Deputy Region Director of Units, and our unit leaders who will present Corps Member of the Year and Team Leader of the Year awards.
Thank you so much. It's good to see all the faces on the screen. Thanks to everybody for hopping on the call with us. Congratulations to all of our members, team leaders and Corps members. It's been a tough year, but you are the ones that are still standing here, and we really appreciate the efforts that you all have put in this year. What an accomplishment. It's really fun to look around. I saw somebody making breakfast earlier. I've seen a cat or two, but it's really, really good to see all the faces on the screen. Yeah, you know, the Corps Member of the Year and Team Leader of the Year, it's always an honor to present these two prestigious awards. And normally we would all be in the same room together. I'd be up on the stage with the unit leaders, which is always a good thing in my eyes. But unfortunately, we can't be doing that today, but hopefully we'll be back to doing it that way real soon. Doesn't take away from how special this day is. Over the past year and a half or so, I've often said how I just can't recall a group of members that we've had in our program that has had to overcome the challenges that you all have. And I think that makes these awards that we're about to present even that much more special. And just so everybody knows, I've been here a long time, so I have a lot of years to compare that to. If any of you are wondering what the process was that we used to identify the recipients of these two awards, first thing I would say is we had a lot of great nominees, and then we had a committee of staff members that had the unenviable task of reviewing all those nominees and then making some final decisions. And I'm telling you, it was not easy because we had so many good candidates. But we got there, and each unit identified a finalist. And then in addition, just so you all know, in addition to the one who receives each award, each of the runner-ups will be sent something from us, a token of our appreciation as well. So you'll be getting something from us, everyone that we talk about here over the next few minutes. So let's jump in and let's talk about the Corps Member of the Year. The Corps Member of the Year award is presented to one outstanding Corps member, and nominees for this award, they went above and beyond the call of duty in pursuit of that NCCC mission. They demonstrated professionalism and a strong work ethic. They stepped into a leadership role. They earned the respect of community members, sponsors, team leaders, and their peers. And they worked tirelessly to improve the quality of life in the communities served by the Southwest region. And each unit leader is going to announce their nominee, and then after each of them talk about their nominee, I'll jump back on and I get to announce the winner. So for right now, I'll turn it over to Richard.
Yeah, so for the Earth unit, our nominee is Ray Chin. And Alan, did you want me to say some things now?
I sure do, Richard.
All right, so just, a little bit of background on Ray. Ray's hails from the Bay Area, Ray from the Bay. She's described by her peers and her leaders as being professional and patient. She has a strong work ethic, sets goals and always achieves them, manages time wisely, and constantly challenges herself. I can go on and on about Ray, but maybe I'll save some remarks, when I have those words.
And I am proud to announce that the Fire Unit nominee for Corps Member of the Year is Juliana Fleming. Here's what the Corps said. Juliana inspires each and every day. She amazes me with her responsibility, incredible work ethic, and attitude. She consistently goes above and beyond and was always dedicated to both the program and to every member of our team. Juliana's passion for this work never wavered, no matter what this year threw at us. Congratulations, Juliana.
Good morning, everyone. Sound check? Yo. Alrighty, for the Sky Unit Corps Member of the Year, I'm gonna do things a little backwards here. So this member's driving force in life was service. This is shown through their dedication and commitment to helping those around them as much as possible. The member always set an example for the team and established a positive and productive relationship with sponsors. They're always considering how the work NCCC does will impact the community people. When things get tough, the member responds with humor and laughing at themselves to lighten the mood. Their upbeat attitude and positively inspire those around them. They are a person of strong integrity and empathy. The nominee for Corps Member of the Year in the Sky Unit is Mary Claire from Sky 6.
The Corps Member of the Year nominee for Water Unit is Anika Kapoor. Anika's energy often resonated throughout the worksite as she inspired her team to continue working hard. She would create a weekly pump-up playlist for the team to listen to on the worksite. And when Anika was in Houston, Texas, she volunteered to work 6-day work weeks to help muck and gut homes that were impacted by Winter Storm Uri. Oftentimes, she acted as a support for the team, asking how people's days were, buying a ginger ale for a fellow teammate who had an upset stomach, or talking to a teammate who happened to be feeling low. It's her enthusiasm, dedication to service, and kind-heartedness that makes Anika our nominee for this award.
Thank you, folks. And if I'm going to tell you, if I can figure out how to use this little clap thing here, I think all of us can. So why don't we all use that little clap button and let's give some applause to all the nominees. Can we do that? Let me see the hands. All right. Thank you, folks. You know, like I said, there's it's a tough competition, but I will say, please join me in congratulating the Corps Member of the Year for Class 28A, Ray Chin. And let's see those applauses again. Thank you. And I would say congratulations, Ray. You know, the entire NCCC community and all of those who care about you are very proud of your efforts, and just really want to wish you congratulations on this award, and thank you for your service. And with that, I will move on to the Team Leader of the Year award. And this award is presented to one outstanding team leader, and nominees for this award emerged as a first among equals by inspiring others to fully deliver on that NCCC mission. They earned the respect of sponsors and community members and Corps members and colleagues. They showed consistent initiative. They led by example, and they were a leader of leaders. And again, each unit leader will announce the nominee, and then I'll jump in because I'm privileged to be able to announce the winner. And we'll go in the same order, and I'll turn it over to Richard.
All right, so the nominee for the Earth Unit is none other than Igul Goo Brown. Yeah, so snaps to that. So some of the words that were shared about Goo always works well with us. So we all experience the ups and downs of our service experience together. Goo recently received the Lifetime Presidential Service Award, an award for people who have performed 4,000 hours of service. Her Corps members looked to her during stressful times and saw how calm and focused she was. She cares deeply about the communities she serves in and inspires the team to work hard and develop as leaders. She's willing to bring up any team concerns and have difficult conversations in order to make others feel comfortable. You know, and then the last thing I have for Goo is just, you know, as her unit leader, you know, she helps me grow as a first-year unit leader. You know, I hope that, you know, what the world now knows, that Goo herself can accept these words and grant them passage into her belief system. So I'll leave that with one last challenge for Goo, and I'll turn it over. Thank you.
All right. Again, I am honored to announce that the nominee for Team Leader of the Year for the Fire Unit is Erica Loikta. This is what the Corps said. Erica puts the need of the team first, and her leadership style inspires me to always be the best version of myself. She models professionalism, compassion, and a passion for service. She was there to lean on when I was struggling and made us feel special when we excelled. She brought positivity, laughter, and energy to Fire 4 during what was a difficult service year, and grew into a remarkable leader and a fierce advocate. Erica, I told you at the beginning of the year that you were the real MVP, and again you are. Congratulations.
Alrighty, folks. The Sky Unit, I'm sorry, I prepared my notes one way, so I have to keep going the same way. So, and the nominee for Team of the Year in the Sky Unit, here are a few things that the Corps said about their performance. This team leader encourages their team members to be the best version of themselves, expecting the most from them and supporting them the entire way. The team leader balances leading by example with delegation to help us members develop as leaders and reach our full potential. They are a perfect example of staying mentally and physically tough through challenging and exhausting tasks that are always setting the pace of the work site. A natural born leader, strong, organized, open-minded, makes solid split decisions, supports everyone and anyone. When faced with adversity the entire year, again and again and again, they truly made the best of their situation, not only for themselves, but for the members and the communities. The best work ethic I've ever seen. This team leader kicked butt at everything. And a few comments from one of their many unit leaders this year. Thank you for never taking your foot off the gas, for not backing down from the tough conversations and situations, for being a leader of leaders. It has been an awesome supporting you over the past 2 years. This year's nominee for Team Leader of the Year in the Sky Unit is Betsy Whiteman.
The Team Leader of the Year nominee for the Water Unit is none other than Water 2's Emily Visagen. Emily has been a strong leader since day one, and her members and fellow team leaders look up to her in terms of how she carries herself. Emily is confident in her abilities as an individual and as a leader, and encourages others to embrace that same confidence in themselves. She makes sure that everyone on the team feels heard and welcome, and truly connects with those around her, making sure to listen and just help out when someone has had a rough day or needs some words of encouragement. Emily takes an active role in reflecting on the significance of service and the impact that her team is having. In addition, she leads by example, coming to work with a positive mindset and engages with the community in a thoughtful manner. Congratulations, Emily, for being our nominee.
Thanks, unit leaders. And hey, folks, can we do the same thing? Let me see all those hands, and I'm going to see if I can figure out if I can remember how to do it. Yeah, look at them all. Thank you so much for doing that. And again, I get the honor of announcing who the winner is, and so here we go. Please join me in congratulating the Team Leader of the Year for Class 28A, Betsy Whiteman. So let's see the applauses again. Thank you so much. You know, as Alex had mentioned, Betsy is completing her second year as a team leader. And Betsy, I got to be honest with you, I don't know why anyone would do that to themselves, because, you know, 1 year as a team leader is a challenge. But to do it 2 years in a row and to do them both the right way with the energy and passion that you've shown is just truly an inspiration. And it's been a pleasure having your leadership in the Southwest region. And as a staff member, it's a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to see you grow as a young leader over 2 years. So congratulations, Betsy, well earned. And with that, I'll turn it back over, and I believe Jeanette's up. So thank you very much, folks.
Congratulations to everyone. This is the part where we would normally get our certificates, fellow Corps members and team leaders. Please rest assured that you'll be receiving these by mail along with any other awards you've won in the next few weeks. To close us out, let me reintroduce Director Fabula.
Thank you, Catherine. It's a pleasure to be working with outstanding partners such as Greeley Weld Habitat for Humanity. I'm also incredibly proud of our Corps Member of the Year, Audrey Chin, and Team Leader of the Year, Betsy Whiteman, for their dedication and commitment. Congratulations on a job well done. As we move toward closing today's ceremony, I would like to acknowledge and extend my deep gratitude to the phenomenal Southwest Region staff for their dedication and effort supporting our Corps members and team leaders on delivering the NCCC mission to strengthen communities and develop leaders through national and community service. Also, a big thank you to all our incredible unit leaders for their genuine care and outstanding efforts leading the fire, water, earth, and sky units. I would like to thank our NCCC Interim National Director, Jake Scambati, and Colorado Governor, Jared Polis, for their participation in today's ceremony and their inspirational words. It's a sincere honor. And a big thank you to our MC, Catherine Coleman, and member Elise Kinzer for their excellent participation as well. When you started with AmeriCorps and NCCC, you took an oath, the AmeriCorps Pledge. You made a commitment to get things done. Your oath is unique, as the language includes what is expected as you return to your communities. Please raise your right hand and join me in repeating the pledge. I will get things done for America to make our people safer, smarter, and healthier. I will bring Americans together to strengthen our communities. Faced with apathy, I will take action. Faced with conflict, I will seek common ground. Faced with adversity, I will persevere. I will carry this commitment with me this year and beyond. I'm an AmeriCorps member and I will get things done. There's a quote by Jeremy Bravo that states, "Great leaders don't set out to be leaders. They set out to make a difference." Thank you for making a difference. Thank you for being a great leader. Thank you for delivering help and hope through your selfless service in a time of great need. Thank you for getting things done for America. And thank you for strengthening communities across our country. You are an inspiration, and I know you will continue to make a difference. There's a saying on our campus that only the best graduate Southwest. Congratulations, and we wish you nothing but the very best. Thank you all. We appreciate you. This concludes our ceremony. Thank you for joining us today.